Happy rising, everyone. How y'all doing today? I hope y'all are doing well. Yeah, I know y'all may not be able to see me that well. I'm outside. I just got doing about 2 miles, but I hadn't finished yet. I got this word, and so I didn't want to forget. So then I was like, let me just sit down for a few minutes, and plus I can rest. So the message is, I was thinking about church, and for y'all who don't know, which probably none of you do, I stopped attending church a couple of years ago. I did because I realized that I didn't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. Like literally, I didn't have to go in a building to have a relationship with God. That I realized on my journey that God is everywhere. God is in everything, including me. And so, just like I'm sitting here right now, if I wasn't making this video, I'd be talking to God, right? And I'm outside, okay? I'm outside. And to be honest with you, I feel like when I'm outside, God hears me the most, right? Even though he always hears me. And I had to realize that I didn't have to go to church to have a relationship with God. And that was a big epiphany for me, right? And on my journey, it's like it was just made evident to me that I've gained an even closer relationship with God and the God within me after I stopped attending church. And so I'm not saying that you should stop attending church. That's not what it's about. That's not what this message is about. Because, it's everyone's choice. But it's always good to have another perspective, right? That think about it like this. If you didn't go to church, do you think that would be a strike against you from God? I think not, because guess what? We don't go to church every Sunday, right? Sometimes we miss. But that doesn't mean that, God's gonna get me. That's not what it means at all, right? It just means you miss church, and that's it, And this is for people who, I don't want to say reprimand other people who don't attend church, because, we are quick to judge others who don't attend church, saying that, the things that have happened to you in your life is because you don't go to church. And if you go to church, then it's going to change everything in your life. And no, it's not. Church can't even change a person. Why? Because change comes within self. And if you want to change something about yourself or change anything, it starts within you. It don't have anything to do with the church, you see. Because you go to church 365 days of the year, right, trying to change something, and it never changes. Because why? Because you're going to church, but you're not changing it within yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I may be stepping on some people's toes, and it's okay, This message is not for everyone. I'm not for everyone, because a lot of people will disagree with me, and I'm okay with that, because like I said, it's my opinion. And then another thing I was thinking about as I was running, I always get these epiphanies when I'm walking. As I started not to walk today, I started to fix me some pancakes and some bacon, you know what I'm saying, and just chill, because it's a beautiful day. It's in the 70s. Oh my goodness. It's a little windy, but it feels so good. But I decided to walk instead. Because why? Because it was my choice, and that's what I decided to do. But I also was just thinking about, like, church and how people, this is just what I've learned just over my lifetime so far. Like a lot of churches, and I'm not going to say every church, because I'm not going to put every church in a box. I'm not going to do that. But a lot of churches do a whole lot of taking, but they don't do a lot of giving. You know, when you are a Christian or whatever label you want to give yourself, it's like the church represents or supposed to represent God, and the people in the church are supposed to represent God. And so in saying that, I just feel like, to say you got a church and then you selling things out of your church, and and people are tithing and giving, and so, but does the church itself, or the people within the church, do they give back to people? Because people are always giving to the church. Like, just say for instance, if I had a bill and I couldn't pay it, right? And if I came to the church and went to the church, would the church pay that bill for me? If I was hungry, would the church give me food? Right? If I didn't have anywhere to lay my head, would the church assist me? Right? Because it's a whole lot of big churches around here generating a whole lot of big money, right? And I was thinking to myself how some churches, they talk about what they do for other countries, and how they give to other people in other countries, and that's good. But what are you doing for the ones that's in the country? Matter of fact, what are you doing for the ones that are in your city? Because I feel that it starts at home. Everything starts at home. And so, in saying that, it's a whole lot of people out here that need some assistance. It's a whole lot of homeless people that need some food, that need some place to stay, that need God, right? But it's rare that you see a church going out feeding people that need to be fed outside of the church now. Not the ones that tithe in the church, not the ones that come to the church, but the ones that don't come to church, that aren't able to go to church, that don't have basic necessities. In my mind, I was thinking to myself, churches have transportation buses. I thought to myself, like, why, if you're a church and everybody is God's children, we're all God's children, you would think, like, okay, why don't we take this transportation bus and go pick up some homeless people, or even bigger than that, let's get some food and pack it up in one of these buses or some of these buses and go around town, and feed the homeless, and feed not even just the homeless, people that don't have a home, whatever their circumstances are, to show that, this is how I want to represent my church. I want my church to be, to help everyone, not just the ones that are putting money in the church. I'm talking about the ones who don't have any money. It's just, I just feel like it's a whole lot of depositing, and it ain't that much withdrawing from these churches. And like I said, your church may not apply. I don't know. But it's just what I've seen. Like, it's like church has become a business. It's a business now. And I know people don't want to believe that, but take a look around. Like I said, I'm not going to say every church, because I haven't been to every church. But I've been to a few churches. You know what I'm saying? And I know I've learned some things about churches, in my lifetime. Like I said, it's just like, it's not like, I won't even say it's not like it used to be, where, people would feed each other. They would do for each other in the church, and, and things like that. And, like, if they saw a homeless person, or a homeless people, it would just be like an idea, to let's get some food together and feed these people that aren't in our church, and show them that, hey, it's God in everybody, and this is what God looks like. Like God, the God within me would do something like this, or something like this, and let them know that the reason why we're feeding you and the reason why we're assisting you is because it's the God within us, right? But you don't see that a lot. Matter of fact, you don't see it at all. I haven't seen it. I mean, but like I said, I haven't seen everything. But yeah, y'all, it was just on my heart, and I was running, and I was like, well, I'm gonna make this video after I finish, but I didn't want to forget, because sometimes I will forget what it is that I wanted to say, and it was on my heart, because we in this world where everything is about money and about how we can generate more money, right? It ain't nothing wrong with money at all, right? But see, church is different though. Church has to be held up. If you're gonna have a church, it has to be held up to a certain standard, right? Like everything that happens at the church is supposed to represent God, right? And I'm saying that everything that happens don't always have to happen within the church. I'm just saying, it's like these churches should do something like what I'm talking about. Why? Because if a church does that, then other churches will do it, right? Be the first, be the example, right? Because see, a whole lot of people can say a whole lot of things, right? I can say a whole lot of things. Like I can have a church and say a whole lot of things about God, and but how am I representing God, right? If I just have a church and I'm just, taking in money, and then you might say, well, yeah, we're taking in this money to do this and do that within the church, but it's like, okay, but still, you can still do that, right? And still do things for people who don't know God, right? Because I'm just saying, in my mind, like, if you go into church or whatever, so you know God, or you want to get to know God, or whatever the case may be, just depending on how you look at it, then maybe the ones that aren't there, that are on the streets, they don't know God. And maybe they need somebody to show them that, hey, that there is a God by what they're doing. I'm just saying. By using the church. The church. Yeah, that building. But like I said, I told somebody one time, I say, you don't have to go to church to know God. But if you want to go, then that's your choice. But if you want to know God, then just start talking wherever you are, because He's everywhere at all times. All times, And then you might say, well, but I don't know the Bible. Okay, it's a lot of people don't know the Bible, but that don't mean that they don't know God, right? Because a lot of people read the Bible and they still don't know it, right? Because one thing I realized, that there's a whole lot of people saying that they know the Bible and giving their version of what they've read in that Bible, and it's always different because everybody has their own perspective, And so in saying that, to know God, it ain't even necessarily to know the Bible, because if you never open the Bible in your life, that doesn't mean that you don't know God, because God is in everything, right? But anyway, y'all, I hope y'all have a beautiful day, because today is a beautiful day. I'm enjoying it. Ooh, I'm enjoying it. Oh my goodness. Nobody could ever know how beautiful it is and how I am enjoying this day and every day. Oh, but I want y'all to have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.